Hello, thanks for joining us for the next video in our latest Vertex BD wood framing tutorial series. In this video, we're going to discuss the wall dialog and attributes section within Vertex BD Wood. When you are ready to start adding walls to your project within Vertex BD, it's very straightforward to begin this process. Simply select the Insert Wall function from the Modeling tab, or alternatively, right-click and select Insert Wall from the pop-up menu. This opens the wall dialog box. Within here, you can choose from a number of different wall libraries as displayed here in the top left. A wall type from within these selected libraries, and then you can modify the layers which make up the selected wall for use within your project. In our example here, we will be utilizing a standard timber frame bearing wall with exterior brick siding selected from my exterior wall library. Here we can see there are 5 different layers which make up this wall. We have the exterior brick siding, our air gap, our sheathing layer, the main timber framing layer, and the interior sheathing layer. The top height of the wall is coming from our 3D levels that we have set previously. You can manually adjust the height values by changing the numbers in any of these height fields, and you can also adjust the material thickness if required too. We can also change the materials that are selected for each layer individually by selecting the drop-down menus shown within the Layers section shown here. As you can see, from selecting the drop-down for each, we have multiple options available for each section to choose from. The Type selection acts as a filter for what kind of materials you will see in the drop-down materials lists. As you can see, we can select a variety of options from roof coverings to sidings, subframes, etc. As we have siding selected, in the drop-down for materials, we only see our available siding materials, and should we change the type, we will see the relevant materials for that selected type. Whenever we change a material here, the sizing such as thickness, etc. will update, as well as the preview pictures. We can also add additional layers here. For example, should we want to add an insulation layer between our framing and our interior sheathing, we can select the sheathing layer and right-click and select either Insert Outside, which will add it to the outside of the selected layer, or Insert Inside, which will add it to the inner side of the selected layer. Because we want to add our insulation between our framing and our plasterboard, we will select Outside. We now have 2 layers of the same sheathing. We want to change this, so we simply select the type drop-down and select insulation as shown, and then change our material as required to our desired insulation in the material drop-down. We can also split layers should we require, so that the top half and bottom half are different materials. For example, if I wanted to make a wainscoting and have plaster on the top layer, I can select the siding layer, right-click and select Split. Now we have a bottom layer going from 0 to 1209mm, and a top layer that is automatically updated when we split the layer, going from 1209 to the top height of our wall. From here we can define our bottom layer to have our wainscoting, and our top layer to be our plaster layer. You can access the framing properties by selecting a layer, right-clicking and selecting Framing Tools. Different wall types will have different framing tools. The forms will look different, and we will cover this in our later framing tutorial videos. The same is true for sheathing. In our default environment, we have framing tools assigned to exterior sheathing, but not the interior or siding, but they can be added as well if required. If you want to revert the changes we just made, you can simply right-click the wall and select Restore Defaults as shown. The changes we make here, whilst we are in the wall dialog box, will only be applied to this specific project. There is more information in our Vertex knowledge base in regards to adding walls to our wall libraries, so that they are available to use in future projects you may have. As well as this, there is also more information about the wall dialog box in the Vertex Help menu. You can find this located in the top right hand corner by the Help button shown here, and select the User Manual. Alternatively, you can access this by pressing F1 on your keyboard. Within the Vertex Help screen, go to Architectural Design, Walls, Add a Wall, and then select the Wall dialog box option shown here, where more info is available. Thanks for learning about the wall dialog system within Vertex BD Wood with us today. Stay tuned for our next video, where we'll be looking at the wall framing tools included within Vertex BD Wood.